Good afternoon, everyone. The background to the start of the startup ecosystem in Rajasthan was really setting up of Startup Oasis, which is a joint initiative of RICO and CI initiatives based in IIM Ahmedabad. This happened in 2013. And that's when the ecosystem really started and a lot of activity started. As per the MOU which was signed, land, building equipment and an initial seed capital was provided by RICO. There was an existing building of RICO which was converted into the Startup Oasis Incubator, and the operations and management is being done by CI initiatives. And the objective was not just to operate an incubation center or to run an incubation center, it was also to develop an ecosystem across the state. Currently, we have a small 6-member team, which is of CI initiatives, which is based in Jaipur, which is running all the programs in Rajasthan. And all of these have entrepreneurial experience. So these are all people who have at some point of time been associated with a startup or have done their own startups. The center is now also supported by Department of Science and Technology, is also registered as a technology business incubator. This is something about the infrastructure that is available at the Startup Oasis Incubation Center. So we have about 16,000 square feet available, though we are not utilizing the entire space as of now. Here are some photographs about the space. These are some of the key metrics or achievements that we have been able to achieve over the last 3 years. So we started operations formally in 2014, and 2016 is of course the last 6 months are covered. So we have incubated or mentored and accelerated about 76 startups, the third row. There are about 24 startups which are currently physically incubated. So our model is more focused on programs. So startups come in for a 2-month, 3-month duration, and then they can continue working in the incubation center, or they can sort of go back to their offices. So the focus is more on programs. About 17 startups have got funded. So in our model, we do not provide funding as of now. Now there's a Rajasthan startup policy about which I'll talk about later, but it was really helping them, basically, as someone mentioned, tide over the valley of death through mentoring as well as connecting them to investors. So about 17 startups have got funded through this process by various angel investors, including Rajasthan Angel Investor Network and a few other investors across the country. The impact of this has been that continuously for the last 2 years, Jaipur has been appearing in the top 10 cities as far as VC investment deals are concerned. Slightly behind Ahmedabad and Chennai, and well above a lot of other cities. Now, what are the key features of the Startup Oasis incubation model which has emerged over the last 3 years? The one thing is that it's a fairly asset-light model. As I mentioned, the focus is on doing programs, mentoring and networking, etc., and lesser extent on the space, though we have a co-working space, but the focus is more on programs. The second thing that we have been able to develop over the last 2.5, 3 years is templatized versions of programs, and I'll come to that later. The third thing, of course, is the fact that it's very relevant for tier 2, tier 3 cities. So what might work in a Bangalore or a Delhi might not necessarily work in a Mysore or a Ranchi or a Patna or whatever other place. You need a different kind of a support system, and that's something which has got evolved over the last 2.5, 3 years through the Startup Oasis incubation model. Now, these are the 7 key pillars or 7 key components of the model, what has emerged. So I'll start with the one which is on the top, ecosystem development. I think this is the critical piece. So any incubation center needs to see itself, the hub incubation center or the nodal incubation center needs to see itself as an ecosystem builder. When we started in 2013, there were a few components or a few ecosystem players already there. So TiE Rajasthan was fairly active. There was an angel investment network which is getting formed. Rajasthan Venture Capital Fund, also set up by RICO, was there. There were meetups happening, Head Start, there were entrepreneurship cells, but somehow there was no organization which was able to act like a system integrator between all of these and fill up the necessary gaps. So that's fundamentally what Startup Oasis did. We were able to kind of bring them all on one platform and fill the necessary mentoring gaps. A TiE or a RAIN would essentially engage with startups which are ready for funding. NEN, National Entrepreneurship Network, which is also there, would typically work at students but there's a big gap between a student and an angel investor funding. So, there's some level of mentoring which needs to be done in between. So that's fundamentally what we did. Second is the student and academy engagement. So we have worked with a lot of e-cells, done a lot of programs along with NEN. So this is another critical component. Scouting and outreach typically happens through social media. It doesn't require too many programs, etc. Because most of these startups, aspiring entrepreneurs, students are on social media. So what it means is a fairly active social media strategy. Startup support, and this is fundamentally I think the core of what we do with startups, and I'll talk about it later, but basically we have 4 programs that we have divided based on the stage, because in a tier 2 city you would even get an entrepreneur who has an idea, and you need to kind of service him. So we have workshops for people with ideas. It can be a 1-day workshop or a 3-day workshop, so there's a basic and an advanced workshop. There are startups who have done some validation. So there's a pilot that they have done, and now a business model needs to be formulated before he can pitch to an investor. So we have a separate accelerator kind of a program for them. So there are these structured startup support programs. Co-working community, physical incubation is, I think, a fairly important component, though not the only component, because that's how the community and the working together and the collaboration sort of happens. Startup policy. So Rajasthan announced the Rajasthan Startup Policy in 2015. So this is like the overarching policy which provides impetus at all these levels. I'll talk more about it later. And Startup Fest. This, I think, is also a fairly important component because it gets all the ecosystem players together and and gets the word across in a more efficient fashion. So these are the 2 startup fests that we have done in the last, in fact, less than 12 months. We did the Rajasthan Startup Fest in October, which was inaugurated by the CM, and I think this was a fairly landmark kind of an event. It kind of generated a whole lot of interest among startups and aspiring entrepreneurs. And we also did a Udaipur Startup Fest. The formats of both of these fests are different. So Rajasthan Startup Fest can only be done in a Jaipur, which is the more mature city, but the Udaipur Startup Fest is a mini fest, which can be done in an Udaipur, which is fairly mature actually, but it can even be done in a Kota, it can be done in a Jodhpur or an Ajmer, or the tier 2, tier 3 cities. So these are Startup Fest formats that we are scaling up across the state. This is basically the startup support which I was quickly talking about. This is actually a screenshot from our website. So when an entrepreneur or a student or whoever it is goes to our website and he goes to apply, he sees these 6 programs and he needs to basically fit in one of these. And these have been designed in such a way that everyone sort of is able to fit in one of them. So there is something for idea stage startups. We have workshop formats for that. Startup support is typically for prototype and pilot stage. Growth support is for those startups who are looking for funding. So connections with VCs, connections with angels, helping them build a financial model and things like that. Social incubation program is something we have recently started. It's the Invent program that we are doing with Willgrow. It's a DFID and TDB program, in the low income states, and Rajasthan is one of them. So if someone applies here, he goes into the Invent website. Then we have co-working. So someone who is only looking at physical space, might not be necessarily looking at mentoring, can just go to co-working and book a seat. So we have something like 2 or 3 plans as per which you can sort of apply. And then the startup policy. So if someone wants to avail of the benefits of the startup policy, he goes there. This is the startup policy page. Again, fairly simple. So this has assistance of about 10,000 rupees per month for those startups or individual students who want to basically try out an idea, do a prototype. There is assistance of 10 lakhs for startups who are at a pilot stage. So it's a matching assistance. So the startup needs to have an existing investor who's willing to basically put in the money, and the government will, through the policy, do a matching investment. There is assistance for conducting accelerator programs. As I mentioned, one of our learnings has been that programs are the key components. It's important to do more programs than just the physical part of it. So we have actually a scheme under which an IIT Jodhpur or an MNIT or a Rajasthan Angel Investor Network or a TAI can actually get support of up to 10 lakhs for doing an accelerator program in their premises, and it will create a pipeline for their investments. There is also assistance for setting up e-cells and incubation centers in colleges. And finally, assistance for private sectors to set up an incubation center. So if there's a hardware company which wants to basically convert one floor of their building into an incubation center, so there's assistance of up to 50 lakhs for that. Now the revenue model that we have been able to, so this again specific to Startup Oasis, is that we charge upfront fee for workshops. We have an equity and a fundraising based fee model for the later supports, and we charge a co-working fee for physical incubators. Some of the things that have been done at the state level in terms of the action plan, Startup India action plan, is that as far as the labor laws are concerned, there is no requirement for registration if the employees number is less than 20, and there's a self-certification facility. I mean, I won't go into the details, it's all there. And amongst the environmental laws, the white category industries are exempt from consent and authorization. So these two things have been already put into action at the state level. In terms of future plans, including reforms, so there was a section on that. So as I mentioned, the Rajasthan startup policy was announced last year. It's a 5-year term for the policy, and there's a budget allocation of 54 crores. But the way it's been allocated is to create a wide impact. Key targets and objectives is to basically create a network of about 50 incubator and incubator-like support organizations, to be able to create and generate about 500 startups, 100,000 square feet of incubation space, and facilitate about 500 crores of angel and early stage capital. Some of the key discussion points that we would be interested to sort of engage with the various stakeholders is the Startup India registration processes. If there could be some ways in which it could be further streamlined and there's more clarity, etc. And what could be the other central government support for the startup ecosystem which has already been developed by states. So stuff that we have already done, the policy, etc. So what are the kind of schemes at the central level which could fit into it? So I think that's it from our side. Thank you very much.